Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I'm a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. The journey continues today on March 3rd, 2022, at approximately 1:16 p.m. PST. As you can see, the day's been a little hectic, and I don't know what day of the week I'm working on, much less what day of the month. Anyway, that being said, things have been a little hectic this morning. In the last few days, really. On the good side, I've managed to get a couple of things done. Finally got income tax sorted around, and here's the thing. I've been paying income tax now for 40 years. And for the first time, well, last year was the first time, turns out that with 3 different accounting firms, over the last 40 years, not a one of them until last year got my income tax right. They finally got it straightened around. Got in touch with the government, got my income tax sorted around from them. I don't know if I've got back stuff coming from my medical disability or what have you. But finally got that out of the way. Like I mentioned a little while ago. Okay, well, actually, before I get into that, I should say this. I bill myself as a spiritual guide because I came back to this world for one primary purpose, to pass on one major question or one major piece of insight. And that is that working together, we can make this a better world for virtually everybody. Now, the tools I offer are the same ones that I personally use, and the philosophies I live by that I promote are the same ones I personally live by. The reason I go into some of what I'm doing personally is because it gives you an example. And there's an old saying that was said once long, long ago. All that I do, thou shalt do, and more. Meaning, if you desire to be successful, you too can be successful. I cannot tell you how to make $1 million effectively yet. I've never done it. But I can tell you how to take your life from where it is to where you desire it to be. Now, as I've mentioned to people before, and if you've listened to this before, to this part of it, back in grade 10, I wrote a storyline for an English assignment, and was promptly told that I would make my money right. Well, I didn't do a whole lot about it, but in 2019, this little book. In 2019, this book went into print. It's available on Amazon, authorhouse.com, Indigo, Chapters. Barnes and Noble in the States. This one went into print in 2019. The sequel, which is this one, went into print this year. This is the end of an epoch. Okay, that's a sequel to the first one. Now, here's the neat part about it. Okay, I'm about a third of the way, closing on a quarter of the way through the next one in the series. But they're already in print, and I just sent off the PDF. I've been approached by a publisher in Italy to translate these. Okay, to take on publishing in Europe, to get these translated into I believe they said in Spanish, in Italian, German, and then they deal in 2 other countries. I know they deal in Great Britain. Well, obviously that'll be in English, which isn't much of a translation. Okay, but I haven't got any real information yet as to what the deal's going to look like. But this is a project that I started when I was in grade 10. Okay, so this is an indication that, quite frankly, if you're looking to make headway, if you're looking to go into the printing side, I can safely say, yes, I have become somewhat successful. I'm getting it out. Not making a lot of money right now, but this wasn't about the money for me. Okay, I'm published now in 4 different genres, most of it self-published, but I'm pushing for the other ones. Okay, I've already got a deal set up to get my children's book into full publication. And that's one of those things I've got to talk to my publisher about. But this was a question of I had a dream. Okay, I came up with a storyline and I liked it, and now it has become a reality. If you've got a dream, if you've got a goal, and you put it on hold for whatever reason, Okay, maybe somebody told you weren't good enough. Okay, the way I look at it is this. They don't have to believe you're good enough. You have to believe that you're good enough. Hence this sign up over here. This one that says, I am worth it. Take that to heart. Okay, I keep that sign there. I've got another one just like it sitting on my fridge. Okay, the one on the fridge I did up on cardstock and laminated it and put it on the fridge. So that's where it sits. But earlier this year, I finally got the one thing that I really didn't think I was going to manage to pull off. Okay, and that was I got peace of mind. I know where I stand in life. I know what's going on with the world. Probably better than many people do. But am I worried about what's going on with the world? No, I became a recluse 10 years ago. As it turns out, I was pushing for it way back in kindergarten. Okay, does this mean I don't care about what's going on in the world? No. But you really don't want my views on a lot of that. And much of it I won't share because it really does sound twisted. Okay, but I have decided these books I'm going to get put out. Okay, I've run into some snags along the way, and it's costing more money than I thought it would, but I am aware of it, and my bank accounts, again, I can't tell you how to make $1 million. I haven't made it there. Okay, I didn't even get to 100,000 I earned until the beginning of last year when my parents' estate cleared. But I can tell you how to track your money and how to make it grow faster. Or more consistently is more to the point. I am not an investment broker. Okay, do I invest in things? Absolutely. But I tend to invest in things as in people. Now, I mentioned this to somebody the other day and it completely threw them for a loop. Okay, if you want to get an idea of my actual outlook on the world, okay, I am literally, and look up the definitions, I am literally a misanthropic philanthropist. Okay, I do not have a lot of tolerance for people one-on-one, which is why I don't leave the house much. Okay, I'm very much reclusive, and in all fairness, getting better at it. But this does not mean I will not talk to people. If you're looking for direct information, it doesn't matter to me what the question. Doesn't matter what genre, what category or what field it is. Ask. I've been dealing with consulting for people since I was a kid. It started with relationships when I was 10. Evolved into dealing with UFOs, alien technologies, my lab, that real twisted side of life. That started when I was counseling people on it, was about 12 years old. I started having to deal with that side of it. Okay, now it started happening to me when I was born. And then, of course, when I got a little older, at age 23, I found I started consulting people on business. This does not mean I'm the best of the best. It doesn't even mean I'm one of the better. All it means is I found a way that can turn people's business around, but you're the one that's got to do it. It's like this world. It's in a shambles right now. Okay. And I will be dealing with other topics of major concern. And absolutely, bear in mind, I would love to hear your comments, and I would love to read your comments in the comments below here. Okay. Take a look down below, right? Absolutely drop a line. If you like the videos, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Okay, and share the daylights out of it. This is a message that has got to go out to every entity available. Okay, corporeal or not. But by simply talking about this message, by simply passing this message along, working together, we can change this world for the better. Okay, one of the books I'm in the process of writing, is a book on success itself. What is the equation for personal success? Now, there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of really good authors out there that have written all sorts of really good books. Okay, that will tell you how you can be successful, how you can make money work if you've got $40,000, $50,000. Well, to be clear, I only earned 34 last year. So I can't tell you how to do it with 50. But I can tell you how to do it with 34. Okay. I went in to talk to a financial advisor one day, and he sat there and looked at what I was doing. And I kid you not, this guy was working for a bank. And he looks at me and he says, I'm not going to tell you you can't live on what you're making. But I am certainly going to ask you if you've got half an hour. Because he says, you're clearly living on what you're making. But he says, you've got half an hour. I would love to pick your brain and find out how you're pulling it off. Because much as I don't make a whole lot, I manage to live on what I'm making. I know how to make it grow. I know how to push the limits. Okay, now last month, I have to correct myself. I had mentioned that the last 6 months I've managed to break the barrier I put. Okay, and that is not quite the way it is as it turns out. As it turns out, let me just take a peek here. Last month, because of the fact I forgot to put in an invoice and a couple of expenses I wasn't planning on, but a couple of annual expenses came out. Net result, I missed my mark. I was supposed to hit 3,500. Now I only required 25 to run my house. Okay, to run utilities, insurance, food, rent, the whole 9 yards. I only require 25. But I've got my minimum set at 35. Last month, I only made 28. Or more to the point, I was left with only 28. No, only made. Because I forgot to put in a contract, and I didn't do quite as much work as I would have liked to have done. But because of that, I'm leaving my minimum at 3,500. Okay, and I will adjust that as it comes in. Okay, as far as what my income is. Now, while I'm doing that, I'm also tracking the extra money. For instance, when my income tax does come back in, my balances will jump in a hurry, but that does not count as income for me. It's not a regular thing. Okay, and I can certainly explain how to do that in a lot more detail. The point being, it is a workable system. My bank accounts are climbing on the whole. Okay, now last month, because I had two major expenses, my house insurance, and I had my house insurance, I think my auto insurance was last month. Okay, and then of course, I had my income tax. That's what the other bill was. My income tax to prep it. Okay, income tax will work out really well. I'll get all the money I just spent back. But the reality was, I wiped out $1,000 between insurance and income tax preparation fees. So the fact I'm down $700 can be written off right there. So I'm still leaving my balance that I'm aiming for at the 3,500 income. Okay, and that's what I'm still targeting. But it's been a steady increase. When I started tracking this in September, I had set my limit in my minimum at 2,000. I have since increased it by 1,500, and I will continue to increase that goal. Okay. Now, of course, this neat little package I just sent to the publisher over in Italy. If that pays off, and that's a very monumental if. I just got off the phone with somebody talking about the odds of them making money writing. There is no doubt it's a very few people that actually make money writing. Very few. In my case, I intend to push and hopefully become somebody that ranks up there with Tolkien, as far as profit line. I would love to be amongst the greats. I do not personally consider myself that great of a writer, but many people that have read the books have said that they do hold their attention. Okay, so where it comes to these ones, okay. Now this one is where it starts. This was literally brought about because of the fact that I enjoyed role-playing so much with the group I was playing with and the interaction we have with the actual players that the Birth of the Wolfpack came out. Okay, for those of you, for the people that were actually gaming with me at the time, The Wolfpack itself was literally the name of the gaming group, of the group that we had. Most gamers will sit there and they will, when they put a group together, they will come up with a name. What's that? They will come up with a group name. Okay. So, the Birth of the Wolfpack, when I put it together, basically, I started it in a bar. In the first chapter, as you can well imagine, post-apocalyptic, it's a rough and tumble setup. The first chapter, there is a little bit of a fight going on in the background. In the second chapter, there's a very detailed conflict between one of what will become the Wolfpack, as it turns out, the pacifist of the group, and 10 other people. Net result, 7 dead, 2 badly wounded, 1 gets away okay. That's against the pacifists. Okay, the book itself essentially wrote itself as it went along. I didn't even know where it was going until I got about 3 chapters from the end and went, no, I'm going to have to tie it off and write a sequel. I kind of figured when I started there would be at least 1 sequel and perhaps a prequel. As it turns out, all of the books will be interlocked. It is an overall saga of 12 books. Now, the first 2 are out. The third one I'm aiming for the end of this year. Okay, this is a long-term goal, much like I have a long-term goal of having my income so that when I hit 65, I can actually retire if I choose to. The odds are I won't. If you're like me, okay, if you're my age and you're like me, the odds are you don't know how to retire. Okay, what I do for a living, I can do until I'm 80 if I'm not dead, and I've been dead before, and that's just kind of an annoying inconvenience. Seriously, though, I've got no functional reason to retire. Okay, right now, I've got my finances starting to grow properly. I've got a definitive goal in mind for something to accomplish over time. This is evolving inside this whole disaster we've had for the last couple of years. Okay, now understand, when COVID first came out, I told people then, actually about 6 months before it turns out, I told them, no, that's not true. Apparently I was talking to somebody, apparently I saw this coming about 3 years before it hit. But, that said, I found peace of mind when I realized that I did not have to fit in with anybody. I had to fit in with me. And that's where this whole change starts. You start right here. At present, I know what my income's doing. I know what I've got for a goal. As I just told somebody today, I've got it set up that even if I get a lump sum, it won't change the path I'm on. I'm not materialistically driven. I had a company contact me and told me flat out, look, and when I told them what they could do with their contract, they turned around and said, look, you don't know what money you're giving up. I looked at him and I says, true, but I do know that you haven't got a clue how little I care about the money you're referring to. Because I don't have it right now. I'm not living for it. I'm writing the stories because they're stories I desire to write. Okay. Am I looking to market them properly and start making a decent replacement income so that that's all I'm doing? Absolutely. For the first time in my life, I know precisely what I'm after, how I'm going to go about doing it, the amount of work involved. My father cautioned me one day because I was playing around in some metaphysical fields. And he goes, Keith, he says, the one thing I worry about with you is you've got no fear of the metaphysical world. And he's right, I don't. I've dealt with ghosts, with spirits, with alien abductions, my lab, you name it. Okay, I have bigger concerns with people. Okay, and the way that people treat each other. It does not make sense to me, and I often question, do I have a problem dealing with people because I don't understand them or because I do? Okay, now the neat part about it, when we take a look at the birth of the Wolfpack, okay, this group of people are interlocked throughout. Okay, in this series, I am covering things like what are past lives? How does a soulmate fit together? Now, this is science fiction, science fantasy. It does, and post-apocalyptic to boot. Okay, so it does have a lot of different situations. Okay, if you take a look at this here is Jeremiah Woolstrock. Okay, that is the way he is. Okay, then you've got down here, this would be Tanya Jan Scott, another one of the characters. And then we have Wilhelm Schunter. Okay, all of these people, these are three of the main characters. Okay, now, on this book, this one here, this is the end of the Epoch, the sequel. And we have Blade, and we have Dirk Waterstone. Okay, two more of the main characters in the Birth of the Wolfpack. There will be three more pictures in here, two on the back of the Return to Paradise. Okay, the reality is I show you these things because this is a major project that I have put together that I am working on. Okay, to give you an idea of something else I'm working on, I've got this corporate superstructure already in place to build a healing center when I've got the money. Now, I've already done the legwork as far as laying out the theory behind it. But this particular center, I figured out a way where it will have residential, it'll have business locations. But the neat part about it is I figured out how to do it in such a way that I will make money. I will not work at nonprofit. Sorry, if I'm going into business, I'm going in to make a profit. I'm not materialistic. I'm just not stupid. Okay, and I'm certainly not going to lie to you and go, I'm not in this to make a profit. I absolutely will be. But I figured out how I can make money. My managers will be able to make money. All of my support staff will be able to make money. And the real kicker to it is I figured out a way how the patrons can generate money for themselves. Okay, now, it is true. You've got to put energy into things. It is not a question of if you don't have money, you can't make money. But you have to put effort in. And one of the books I'm writing is how to do just that. What the actual formula is, gained by talking to in excess of 80,000 clients. Okay, many of them in business, about 30% of them, which would be about 24,000 clients, running businesses. Okay, where I've taken that information, and of course, we take a look at these other ones here. This is what I mean by I spend my time writing. Okay, believe in yourself and follow your dreams, and believe in your business and follow your dreams. Okay, these books, any of these books I'm showing you, by the way, in case you hadn't pieced it together, I've actually got in stock, in inventory, in my possession. But these are tools that I'm putting together now with this entertainment, with this healing center that I'm referring to. Everybody will literally be able to make money. Okay, will I ever have a board of directors? Not a prayer. Because what I understand as far as board of directors go is there is a way that they can take the company away from you. If I never put a board of directors in place, board of advisors, absolutely. Board of directors, not a prayer. Okay. But what I have found, I've turned to a lot of professionals and people go, oh, I'm trained in this, I'm trained in that. I've dealt with enough people that have claimed to be trained in things that it has proven that all they've got is a piece of paper that was about as useful as the sheet of paper it was built on. So I talk to people that demonstrate an enthusiasm and a willingness to put work and a willingness to go, look, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll do what I can. I'm more interested in that kind of connection than I am in somebody that says, oh, I've got all these degrees that says I know what I'm doing. They have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt to me that most of the time it doesn't hold water. Let's face it, 40 years of having my income tax done by so-called professionals, and until last year, not a one of them got it right. Not a one. Now, I may get some money back because this last person is going back 10 years to try and get things sorted out. Right. Whether I'll get anything back or not, I don't know. Would it be nice? Certainly. Am I going to worry about it? No. Okay, but this is what I mean by working together. We can make this a better world for most people. Now, you'll notice I don't pay a whole lot of attention. Well, I am now. I've started paying more attention to the way that I'm dressing, to the way that I'm, to things like my hair. My beard, every now and then I'll get fed up with it and cut it off. But my other half, okay, who happens to live in a different country right now, okay, since she's not right here, she prefers it clean shaven. And that's okay. When she gets up here, I'll worry about it more consistently. Right now, I don't have to worry about it too much. And there's a simple reason for that. No, it's not because I don't care. It's a practicality thing. Okay. You wouldn't believe it with the amount of work I'm working on and with the amount of projects I'm working on. Okay. But I am a professional procrastinator. Now, because I don't go anywhere, because I don't have my other half living here with me, the fact I'm not shaving right now isn't a big issue. And of course, there's those of you that'll go, but if you're talking on video, don't you worry about how you look to her? In my case, no, because she's blind. Okay, so she can't see it anyway. However, do I keep her informed? Absolutely. Okay, the reality is, this is a young lass that has proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that, at least as it stands right now, we've been together 18 months now, and not once have we even gotten into an argument. Now, I don't know if I do know this is not normal, but I'm also quite content with the idea it hasn't happened. Are we looking long term? You bet. But I gotta wait to get her across the border. Because as I told her right off the bat, I'm not moving. But I am building an empire. As a matter of fact, quite frankly, my Excel spreadsheet that I use for tracking money, I literally have titled it Empire because that's what I'm going after. I'm not materialistic. I intend to make certain everybody that's working with me and everybody that is dealing with me is generating an income. This is not about my building a massive bank account. Do I want to make certain? Am I aiming to make certain that I can retire comfortably? You bet. I would have to be foolhardy not to. But money is not the real key factor here. Money is simply another form of barter. Okay, and this is something I do desire you to take to heart. Now, with this in mind, I will be back again tomorrow. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other, and for pity's sakes, stay positive.